to the cloud. All right, housewarming parties. Okay. So looking at that sheet, the rule of 4 shows that going deep on fewer lead gen activities rather than trying everything everywhere all at once will generate better results. When you know which 4 activities are working best for your business, you can look at your budget and create a map to get to your desired annual income. As you read through this section of the playbook, so what playbook am I talking about? Do you guys have this?
Oh, no, not the playbook.
The Millionaire Real Estate Agent Playbook. It's $20. I think you can get it on Keller Inc. This is what it is. It's broken up into sections. The section we are learning from today is called events. Okay. But this entire playbook, there's over 100, I counted them, over 100 systems, AKA playbooks, to run a play. So, and these aren't just random, like Keller Williams sat down and went like, all right, you know what? Let's come up with something to do for housewarming parties. No, what they did, turn your page, look at page 2. Flor de Maria McNally. Do you see that underneath the title? It's from her, Cincinnati, Ohio. I looked up her production. 122 units for 30 million. Does she have receipts? Mm-hmm. Yes, right? Okay, this is what she does. And as I was reading through, when I flipped through, because I was like, I'm not going to just create a class on housewarming parties. I'm going to use a system from a top agent and implement what I did as well and share my mistakes. Because guess what? When I did housewarming parties, was there a playbook? No, it was called whatever Erica figures out works. And some of it worked and some of it didn't. So that's my addition is you don't do this. Okay. But some successes, this lady has it figured out. So we're going to copy her playbooks. This is an amazing $20 investment here. And this page, this front page, the rule of 4 is the very first page in the book because they're telling you don't do all these things. Most successful agents do 4 over and over and over at a really high level. Okay. Does that make sense? All right, so flip the page now, and this is the actual system. Okay, throwing a housewarming party for your buyer customers. Remember, we don't have clients, we are transaction brokers. We have customers. If you say clients, I'm calling you out. Is a unique way to show value, meet potential new client customers, and stay top of mind. These parties have resulted in at least 1 closing per party for Flor and her team, and many new leads. I had 1 transaction as a result of doing housewarming parties. I did them about a year but built my database with a lot of leads. Okay. She has more success than I did with it. All right. So let's take a look. Step 1, present the party to your customers. This is the easy part. Ask them if they would like to have a housewarming party hosted by you. So I'm going to stop right there. If this is going to be something that you do, you don't have to be shy about eating, you eat away. Okay. And there's sandwiches next door if you want more, okay? If this is something you are going to do, you don't just go, oh, by the way, it needs to be part of your presentation. Wow. Awesome. Okay. All right. So like we were saying, I send out invites 4 weeks prior, and then each 1 day a week till the day of the party, they're getting a touch from me a week. Am I invested in the outcome of whether they say they're coming or not? No. Nope. It's about the touch, okay? And so what can those touches be? What would make sense? You're inviting somebody to a party. What would the first touch be? You send the invite out. What am I doing next week?
Make sure you got it.
There you go. So I'm calling them. It needs to be voice to voice. Hey, this is Erica Lindsey. I sent you an invite last week to Tom and Barbara's housewarming party, and I'm just calling to check if you received that. Oh yeah, we haven't had a chance to RSVP, da da da. Okay, great. Well, I can RSVP for you if you'd like, right? So I'm trying to make it easier for them or whatever. Or if they say things like, oh, I'll get to it tonight. Okay, great, fantastic. I so look forward to meeting you. Have a great day. There's nothing about real estate. I am not selling them my services. I'm focused on throwing a great event, okay? If they don't answer, I'm leaving a voicemail. Hey, this is Erica Lindsey calling on behalf of Tom and Barbara, just calling to verify you received the invite to their housewarming party. They're so excited to see you. Feel free to either RSVP on the link that was sent. If you can't find it, shoot me a text. I'll send it over to you. Thanks, great. Have a great day, whatever, okay? The next week, now I'm seeing who the RSVPs have come in, all right? And those who have not RSVP'd, maybe I'm giving them a call again, okay? Remember, it's not the next day, it's been a whole week. And now we're 2 weeks out from the actual party. And so my message this call is gonna be more just like, hey, looking for a final head count on food and attendees. We're so looking forward to a great time. You're gonna love their home. They're ready to welcome you, yada, yada, okay? Hoping to get some more RSVPs. If I don't, not a big deal. It's not about the party. It's about the touches, okay? And then I'm gonna send out either an email or a text or another call 1 week prior. And then 48 hours before the party, I'm gonna set up Eventbrite to send that auto, right? That auto reminder of you've got an event in 2 days, yada, 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 okay? Questions about that? So at that point, they've got 4 touches from me before we've even met face to face. That's probably one of my biggest mistakes was focusing so much on the party that I didn't focus on leading up to the party and after the party. I made it all about the party. And then in the beginning got disappointed if I didn't get a lead or a piece of business out of that party. It's not about the party. It's about growing my database, right? All right, number 3, pick a theme and stick with it. Yes, this can be, I love the taco bar. Have any of you ever heard of like walking tacos with the chips bag? You just put the meat right in the Dorito bag, shake it up. Feel out your crowd, okay? If you sold a $6 million house and you're doing a housewarming, maybe you don't want to do the walking tacos, okay? But you should have developed a relationship with these people. Maybe if they have a lot of kids, maybe you do the walking taco bar for the kids, okay? Or if they're like, yeah, we're not fancy, we like that stuff, but feel out your crowd, okay? Otherwise, again, like, they've got shrimp cocktail at Sam's and Costco on the cheap, and you get like a whole ocean of shrimp. You've got hummus and the big things. You've got, veggie trays that are on steroids and chicken salad and boxes of croissants. I mean, you can do a very low cost investment. And if you create that menu, you have a fixed cost, that food's going to cost that amount every time. Now, tip, you got to keep in mind your vegans and your vegetarians. So you need to at least have 1 or 2 options for them to munch on that, won't have them giving you the side eye, okay, during the party. Ways to plus kind of the experience of throwing an awesome party. You could get a branded cornhole set made with your logo or contact info on it that travels with you. to these parties that you set out on the lawn or whatever like that. And think too, like, you could have that set up at your open house. You could lend those out to your past customers. You know what I mean? Like, they can be used in multiple situations, investing like that. And when it's branded, now it's marketing, could be possible tax deduction, consult your CPA. Okay. Face painting, if they are very heavily young kids, things like that, like, who do you know that's an artist or an aspiring clown that would like some exposure and is good at face painting or things like that, right? I've seen some people even have like their own bounce house that they rent out for their past customers on their kids' birthdays, you know, like have them on a birthday smart plan for their kids and say, hey, are you throwing a party? I know it's in 2 weeks. Hey, I've got a bounce house, you know, things like that. So these are all ways that you can continue to use in your business, not just with housewarming parties. Also popcorn machine. People seem to love to like scoop their own popcorn, right? And the smell and the popping, it's very nostalgic. You can even set that up at open houses. Don't set it up in the house. It needs to be outside. Okay, popcorn smells very strong smells. Okay, but these are things that, again, you can loan out, you can bring to your party. And if it's something that you're going to use often, you know, could be a business expense, consult your CPA. Okay. Throw an awesome party. So this is when you have to be very intentional in talking to every single person. Okay. Now, if you have connected with people beforehand and maybe you've done a forward conversation with them, what's forward? Family, occupation, recreation, dreams or goals. Okay. The forward conversation. You've documented all of this in command. So you have that. So, you know, when you connect, you go, oh my gosh, Sonia, how you doing? Oh my gosh. Oh, you brought your young one. Good. Oh, you're Natalie. Oh, good to meet you. Right. Chloe, good to meet you. Right. So you want to try to familiarize yourself and put eyeballs and have them put eyeballs on you. And this is totally up to personal preference. My preference was I got there early, I set up, I stayed an hour or until I met everyone, and then I bounced and let them do their thing. Okay. But with that came, I'm not going to like leave dishes there and do all that. So my job was to make everything just disposable. Like I brought stuff in a big box. I had a contractor giant trash bag in there for them. And I said, hey, everything here is disposable. Just throw it in the contractor bag, throw it out in the garbage the next time, right? You want to make it an easy button, not like make it super difficult for them. If you want to stay the whole party, stay the whole party. I just found like, especially if like they were partiers and things like that, like I wasn't going to be drinking, I wasn't going to be partying, and I didn't want to be like that oddball, like hanging on, like, hey, you want to talk about real estate? If they're all getting loose, right? I wasn't going to say jiggy, but yes, okay. And so I didn't want to kind of be like the wet blanket or anything like that. So I was like, I left on a high note. Hey, everybody's feeling good. Awesome. Love you. Great. I'll be in touch. Bye. Right. And I receded into the darkness. But that is totally personal preference for you. All right. Plus, when you're doing one of these pretty much once a week, like, I'm not trying to spend every Saturday working the whole day and doing that party. Okay. So that meant I had to be very intentional to meet every single person and talk to them one-on-one before I left. Okay. Photos and videos. Again, I'm horrible about being in like I want to talk and do all that. I forget to take pictures. I forget to take video. And then all of a sudden you got nothing to show for it, right? So that's why I'm saying, if you can find a local up and coming photographer who does good work, you know, and you introduce them as part of your team, like now people are going, man, she's got a photographer like on staff. That's amazing, right? It's an impressive factor thing. And I know that they were going to edit the photos and give them to me, and then I could pass them on to the homeowner. It wasn't something that's not my wheelhouse to do. Okay. You'll get like a picture of the back of my pocket because I put my phone into my jeans, right? Okay. And then the follow-up, which is probably the most important part, is the follow-up. I was just thinking, another thing you could probably do if like you're big on Facebook and things like that, like you could make a group, the invite, right? And you could share videos in there, you could share pictures, reminders, all of that. The challenge is they've all got to be on Facebook and check it, right? Maybe you do both. Maybe you do an Eventbrite and you do a Facebook. I mean, there's just however you want to build that system. But the most important thing leading up to the party is the what? The touches. The one-on-one touches to every single attendee, okay? And guys, I'll just tell you, at the party, this will be the most common thing you hear. My realtor never did that to me. You're amazing. That is the most heard statement I got. And you know what I would say? I know, right? Like, own it. Like most agents aren't doing this kind of thing for their customers. Most of them are like, who was my realtor? Like they got their check and they were gone, right? So this was a way that I got to stand out, and I love being with people and in groups and doing all that. So it was fun. And when it's systematized, it really doesn't take up your entire world. Because the last thing you want to do is spend your entire week just working on these parties. That's not lead generation. I mean, it is in a way, but you're not getting the most bang for your buck with it, okay? You didn't sign up to be a party planner. So that's why I'm saying you've got to be purposeful with it. You've got to be budget conscious with it, and you can still be classy with it, okay? And so the follow-up for me lasted a couple of weeks after the event. So the first follow-up is going to be pictures, if your photographer did any sort of video, okay? You're sending that out individually, and a call. Hey, it was so good meeting you. How did it end up? Right? So I'm like getting tea and building rapport and all of that. And I think that at this point, it comes real easy to talk about real estate because you just added value to them. You just gave them a fun time, right? And so it naturally begs the question of like, hey, you know, anytime you want to throw a party, I've got you. You know, let me ask you, do you have any plans for real estate in 2024? And they're gonna talk to you. They've met you face to face. This is not a cold call anymore. And the first time wasn't a cold call because you were inviting them to a party. Like you could do that. That's not, you're not selling air filters, right? You're inviting them to a party. That's fun. And so, you know, whatever they say, again, I'm putting that all in my database. They might be looking to sell. And so I'm talking to them. I'm doing my seller pre-qualifications. What are you looking to move? Where would you like to go? How much do you think your home is worth? Tell me about the improvements. Well, it sounds like we should meet. At least let me come by. Let me do an assessment. Take a look at the comps. What works best for you? Mornings, afternoons, or evenings, right? And if they don't, say, okay, fair enough, 2024 might not be your year, but let me ask you, when you hear of someone who's looking to buy or sell, do you have a realtor who you send them all to interview? Okay. And if they say no, say, awesome. I'd love to interview for that position. You already know they're going to get a bonus for working with me. So I'd love to keep in touch, and I'd be honored if you thought of me when you heard of someone looking to buy or sell. Is that okay? Right? They don't say no. If they say yes, I do have a realtor that I generally spend. I say, well, they throw you parties? No, I don't ask that. I just think it. Right? And I say, well, great, awesome. It's what do they say when you get pulled over? They don't ask for your driver's license, they ask for your real estate license. So I get it. Most people know a realtor. I would love to be your plan B. So is it okay if I follow up and just continue to add value to you, be a resource to you? I have an extremely extensive database around town to help you. No strings attached. Is that fair enough? And then when they say yes, I've right there put into stone that I'm going to follow up better than their current agent. Agent A who? Right? Because you have to decide if you choose to have someone in your database, in your web, they're either going to buy or die. Those are their two options. They're going to use me as their real estate agent. Like, you have to have that kind of affirmation out in the universe. Otherwise, you're just like every other agent. Okay. And then you do. So then you utilize smart plans. If people are like, yeah, we might be thinking of selling in the next couple of years, what smart plan am I going to put them on? Neighborhood. The monthly or the bi-weekly, probably monthly, neighborhood nurture. Guys, that is a set it and forget it. And every month they see a branded website that's live, that's branded to you, that everywhere they click, it goes to you. Okay, we have to have everybody in our database on that. If they say, well, we're actually kind of looking, we're still in the homework stage, but maybe 12 to 18 months, which, by the way, that is when buyers start looking, 12 to 18 months. And so 12 to 18 month you can either thank you of the past for following up, or they're going to go with another agent. We have to stop looking at, I'm talking to someone, if they're not ready right now, forget them. I'm going to only look for right now. That is being very short-sighted. And if you have a decision, do I want to be in this industry a year or for a career? And if it's for a career, you have to follow up with them however long it takes, and no matter if they respond or not. You guys can speak to that. I can speak to that. Over a year of being ghosted, it's like dating. Over a year of being ghosted, and then all of a sudden I'm at Sunday Fun Day listening to my favorite reggae band at the beach one day, and I get a voicemail and I look at it and it's like, hey Erica, just got pre-approved. Let me know. We kind of wanted to see some property this week. I had followed up with him for a year with no answer or response. Mark, I'm sure you can speak to it too. Just because they don't respond doesn't mean they don't see. Okay, so take your ego out of it. I called him 3 times and he didn't answer. So, right? Keep following up. So if they say, hey, I'm looking 6 months, year, 18 months, whatever. Great. Well, tell me about your ideal home area, price, size, and I'll just start sending you stuff now and then. I'm not going to send it to them. The MLS drip is going to send it to them, right? And I want to be vague right now because they're not ready. I will set the buyer consultation when they are ready to start actively looking. But I want to get them a drip with my name and all of that, right? So no one goes into my database without at least 3 to 4 smart plans of touches that they're receiving from me. okay, at a minimum. And tag the crud out of them. I think that just, Tamika probably just really nailed that home with that, huh? Okay. So mistakes I've made, doing things differently each time. Well, I feel like having a salad bar this time, and oh, I feel like doing seafood, and oh, it's impossible to control your costs when you're just flying with the wind of what you're craving that day. Okay, so have a set menu plus. Your customers want the easy button. And so when you already have it in place, you're like, hey, this is what we do. We've got salad, we've got shrimp cocktail, and we've got a taco bar. I provide tea and water. You provide the alcohol, blah, 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 blah. I've got XYZ, and we do it 1 to 3. So let me know a Saturday that's convenient for you. Like you've got it mapped out for them, and anything extra, they are more than willing to add. They're more than welcome to add, excuse me. Another mistake, providing alcohol. Another mistake, not personally inviting. You can't skip the phone calls, guys. So there was a time where I started off and I was like, I'll just send this Eventbrite, and then I'll send an email, and then I'll send another Eventbrite, and then I'll send an email. Like, there's no relationship building before you walk in the door. It's all just behind the screen, and you have to, we're in the relationship business. So that was a failure I made. And then not having a guest limit. One of the agents that I coached, he had decided he wanted to do this. He loved parties. And I was like, okay. So, we go through all of these best practices and things. And so he threw his first one. And I'll never forget, like, waking up the next morning and he goes, like I had pictures that he had taken, and like there were people like skinny dipping. There were people basically swinging from the rafters. There were something like 80 to 90 people at this house. The house got trashed, and I was just like, A, you can't control their friends. I get that. But B, like, he provided the alcohol. Like, his whole commission was basically gone. This is Jacksonville, not Naples. Yeah. Right? And so I was like, man, you didn't listen, and he's like, well, they're my friends. And I'm like, well, your friends just made you work for free because you spent all your commission and they were swinging from the rafters. Right? So just, you can have boundaries without being a party pooper, right? And then that way the liability is off of you as well. So for those of you that are on Zoom, we basically followed the system from the Millionaire Real Estate Playbook. Patricia has the PDF that she's going to upload with the recording of 10 minutes of our class. So you will have that and be able to see that system. I believe you can get these on kellerinc.com, I want to say, is where we got it. And amazing investment to help you with systems on everything, okay? I want to remind you guys, tomorrow at 1 p.m., we are doing our productivity coaching program launch. So we're going to have an info session. We're going to go over the structure of the coaching program. We're going to talk about the benefits in the coaching program. And we're going to get you guys signed up to hit your goals. Okay, so be here tomorrow at 1. Bye.